Are killed for food is so, you know, there's this quote which say if slaughterhouses had glass walls, everybody would be vegetarian. And it's true because it's so unnecessary and we do it in such an inhumane way a lot of times. And I don't want to be a part of it, and I don't think me not eating meat will stop anybody else doing it. I think that's obviously something that society would have to change for that to happen, and it's not going to happen for a long time, if ever. But I myself don't want to be a part of it, which is why.
Okay, okay. How do you feel about organic farming? Do you think that's any better?
No, I don't agree that we have to kill animals to eat because we can survive without eating animals, but it is better if we had to choose an alternative, but I would rather.
So in an ideal world, we wouldn't kill animals to eat? No,
I don't think we need to. We're not in the medieval times anymore, you know. We've left so much of that behind, but we still have carry on these things, and we will forever, but I don't.
And do you write about your beliefs?
Not, I would like to write, but I write fiction.
Okay.
So it has to do it in a way that would make, not preach, but sort of make people consider their beliefs, because everyone's brought up on meat, most people. So a lot of people don't really think about it. It's just life.
It's just a given.
It's just a given, yeah, that they're going to eat meat. So if there was a way to write something that would make people, for themselves, think and reconsider, then...
So not exactly journalism, but fiction that made people reconsider their values.
Yeah, but for themselves, rather than showing them this is the way. I think you ought to sort of get them to think about it for themselves, because that's the way it will be a most long-term effect, probably.
The argument for many carnivores, I think, is that vegetarians, this is for both of you actually, that vegetarians don't get the nutrients they need, the protein, via just vegetables. What would you say to that?
Well, there's other ways of getting nutrients anyway. I mean, you can take these iron tablets and stuff, which my mum does, but also you can just, if you have a balanced diet, you can eat properly without eating meat. It's not... Okay. We're all alive.
If there was one thing that you could change right now in the world where animals were concerned, what would it be?
Probably the way animals are killed.
Is anyone in particular?
Is halal meat, you know, when their throats are slit and stuff. And I know it's a religious thing for a lot of people, but it's so inhumane. We have the ability to change that and make it legal and stop it happening. But
that's very interesting, because one of the sort of myths around halal meat is that it is humane, but it's actually emerged that it's the opposite.
Yeah, how is it humane? How is killing any animal humane, really? But
yeah. So the animals are killed with pain, as opposed to in conventional practices when they're...
I think if we have to do it, we have to do it quickly, you know, and as pain-free as possible.
Yeah. How do you feel about fox hunting?
Well, it's interesting listening to you. I've always been very against fox hunting because for me, as you said, I see it as a sport. I see it as men trying to feel big by hurting and terrifying small animals. Great. Yeah, I think it's disgusting.
What do you have to say to that, Jim?
I think it's a very understandable reaction, and I suspect a lot of people will take that view as well. Last thing I want to do is to say to Sophie and people like her, you know, somehow killing animals is fine. What we have to do, what is really important, and it's the really difficult route that some people take. I mean, it's all very well saying I'm against it all and backing away from it and saying I hate it all. The difficult route is to try and take those steps to try and improve it, whether it be in improving people's the way that they eat, the way that animals are kept and slaughtered for food. But what we can't do is take simplistic steps, which is what the Labour government did in the last government back in 2004, 2005.
You're talking about the Hunting Act.
Yeah. A lot of it was actually not about animal welfare. And having sat through all the committee stages of the way that bill became an act, clearly there were other reasons why people wanted hunting banned. But the important point is you must know what takes its place. There is nothing moral about saying I dislike something which causes pain and suffering and something worse taking over, but just to make you feel better. That's the really difficult task that a genuine animal welfare, animal rights person should, that's the choice they have to make, and hopefully they take the right route.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for joining today and letting us know. Sophie, Jim. And now let's take a look at what the beastly mints have to say about animal cruelty.
Bob, how was your sleepover with Trevor?
It was good. We watched movies and played video games. Yeah.
What games did you play, Bob?
Well,
I bet he played a special game with Trevor.
Well, Bob, did you play with Trevor?
no, we played with Trevor's dog. Oh, we gave him special treats.
What kind of treats?
We covered my body with peanut butter, and then the dog licked it off.
I hear dogs like peanut butter.
Oh, they do, especially when it's on my balls.
Yes.
Dad?
Oh, Billy, Bob, dogs like Trevor's do that naturally to themselves and to each other, but they shouldn't be encouraged to do it to humans. Yeah. And humans should not do it to animals either.
But why, Dad?
Well, you see, kids, whenever a human being and an animal connect via their genitals...
Oh, he means penises.
That's what animal liberationists and Puritans call bestiality. For example, a male of our kind placing his twonker really close to, let's say, a female cat's...
Kitten hole!
Kitten hole. That's bestiality. Or another scenario would be a woman allowing a very, very happy stallion to insert his
ground trailer?
His ground trailer inside her. That too is bestiality.
But why is that wrong, Dad?
Yeah.
Because there's nothing in it for either party.
No babies can be produced. There's usually very little pleasure. And the sound resulting from the sexual act is really quite unpleasant to the human ear.
So it's wrong because no babies can be produced?
Like when we saw those two lizard cows riding each other at the city zoo.
Well, there's only one way to make a cow pregnant, and that's why your mother's sitting here today. You see, Grandpa...
Dad!
Oh, just joking, kids.
Oh.
Yes. Yes, your father is only joking, but I am not. Bestiality is wrong for several reasons, children. Animals are innocent creatures who lack the ability to say yes or no. That means they can't consent to anything you might do to them. And you both know you must never do anything to anyone against their will. That's true for both humans and animals, neither of which deserve to feel pain. What's wrong, Billy?
I don't want my threadworms to feel pain.
Oh, come here, Billy. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. I know.
A different kind of love from the mints there. Unfortunately, our show has now come to...